where I share what it's like to do pet boarding, as you'll see dogs walking behind me, and different things around the house, homesteading type things. And today I'm going to talk about how I do my nails. I do my own nails. I've been having my nails done for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe more. And I used to go to the salon every 2 weeks for my hands and my feet, and would spend about $250 a month between those, my hands and my feet, and that's a lot. But I still want to have my nails done, so I've learned how to do them, not perfectly, certainly not a professional look, but good enough. And I have been doing it at home for at least a year, probably more than that. Another benefit to doing my nails at home, specifically with the pet business, is I don't have to have a big appointment that really was like 3 or 4 hours long every 2 weeks. So I don't have to like worry about, pickups and drop-offs and home visits colliding with my nails. So I kind of plan out when my nails are starting to look like crap. I start looking at my calendar, like, which days would be best. And I don't do it when I have daycare, because those dogs have a lot more energy and need more attention. I try to do it when I don't have appointments, of course. And if, for example, it's nasty outside and I can't do stuff out there, for example, it's raining today, so it's not like I can go and do anything out there productively. And I kind of need a good chunk of time to be able to get to at least a stopping point. I don't have to finish all at once, but as long as I get some foundation on, and so my nails aren't so brittle, then I can come back to it. I can do filing, I can do painting later on. I'm pretty tough on nails, but they last, I think it's been almost 3 weeks. And it's just more that they're looking like crap versus them falling off or breaking. It sounds like they're acrylic, but they're actually just gel. One thing you'll notice about me is I don't really care about my makeup, my hair, my clothes. Like, I always wear sweatshirts or t-shirts, and my sweatshirts are falling apart. But my nails are like the biggest thing for me. It's the first thing I notice about people, are their hands. I don't know if that's weird or not, but it's in person or in a movie or watching someone online. That's the first thing that I see is their hands. And so of not doing my nails isn't really an option. I've tried, and then of course during COVID, nail salons shut down, and at that time I didn't actually do my own nails, so they were looking like a mess. So it's either pay a lot at a salon and have that standing appointment that takes a long time and interferes with the pet business, or learning how to do it myself and also saving money. And I also do my daughter's nails, so that she's not going to go to a salon anyways, plus that'd be extra money. I do her nails because she bites her nails. And so having a thicker nail helps her to somewhat stop biting and picking. So I think it's about time for me to bring you closer so you can see what I do, the supplies that I use. So first thing, I grab three hand towels. I usually just use, like, these are dirty hand towels from the kitchen, like not skanky, but you know, they don't need to be fresh. And so I have one that I do my filing on. I'll save one for when I do the painting, so all that dust is not getting into the paint. And then I have another one that I use for alcohol, when I spray alcohol, so that I can rub off the sticky parts in between different steps and at the end. All right, let's get started. So the first step is to, we need to get all of the color off. So you're gonna need an electric drill. I'm gonna start with the coarse tip, number 80. This is gonna take practice so that you aren't hurting yourself. Go around and get all of the color off. All right, so I have all of the color off. The next thing I do is I get just kind of, I take down a little bit of length and get like the basic shape that I want, and you know, fix anything that I don't like shape wise. If I had a nail break or something like that, and like one is noticeably shorter, I will change all the other nails to match that one. If it's really short and I like just can't stand that, then I will do a fake tip. And then when as you're doing it, you know, you can compare the length, the size, so that you're not having one hand looking like it belongs to a totally different person. So after you're satisfied with the shape and length, what I do is work on my cuticles a bit, but you have to be careful with this. If you have any lifting, you need to make sure that you either are cutting it back and filing it really well, or just skipping this step and skipping washing your hands at this point, because you don't want water getting underneath your nail before you are able to seal it with products. If you get water, then you go and put your product on there and seal it in, you're gonna end up with a fungal infection. I can't stand when my cuticles are looking all musty, dusty, crusty. So I like to do it, you know, I push back. Pushing back your cuticles allows you to, oh, nugget. It allows you to just be able to put your nail polish a little bit farther and look a little bit neater. So I push it back while this is warm water, so you know the skin is soft after soaking for a few minutes. And then I'll put it back in. Push it back a little bit more. This doesn't hurt me, but my kids, man, you think that I was torturing them when I do this. I don't get it. To me, it feels good. Get down, Cozy. Get down. Hold on. And then I just clean up any big chunks, dry skin. All of this takes practice, you know. Yes, I have cut myself. Will I cut myself again? Of course. I like this part though. I find it satisfying. I wonder where that comes from. Like my grandma, she used to push back my cuticles with her nails. I wonder if that's where my nail obsession came from. I don't know. She would push back my cuticles, and then she had like this white pencil and would like color underneath my nails to make them look whiter. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a real thing or if she was just using like like eyeliner or something. Like I don't know if that was a thing. Uh-oh. Alright, so my cuticles are done now. I usually take like the less coarse side of the buffer and just kind of do a final filing, get underneath the edges, just to have a smoother, more even finish before we start doing any polishing. And I will do more filing later as well. It's a process. And I'm still working over my towel that I use for filing. So it has all the gritty bits and dust, which you don't want that in your polish. One thing that I was thinking that I like about doing my nails, I guess another thing that I like about doing my nails is it's like I'm less picky. I guess I give myself more grace than if I get my nails done at a salon. I expect them to be, you know, pretty much perfect. So then like if there is some sort of flaw or like a weird shape or weird length or something, like that's all I can see and focus on. But when I do it myself, you know, I try my best and that's good enough. Like it's not the end of the world. And then also if something breaks or if I just hate the color, it doesn't, it's not like that big of a thing to change it because I have the supplies myself. And sometimes there's still some thick skin areas that I go and trim up some more now that my hands aren't wet. I'm going to take one of my towels, I'm going to get my alcohol spray, just clean up any of that debris that's on the nails. I'm pretty sure the next step actually has alcohol in it, but I do this myself just in case. I'm gonna put down my third towel over here, my dust. So this pH bond from Gelish. So in theory, it will help the coats bond. I mean, I don't have problems with them not staying on, so something's working. All right, so just do a quick, do both hands before I forget, because sometimes I forget a step when I get to my second hand. It's not, you know, it dries and it's not a polish, so you don't have to be like super accurate. It's just kind of like a cleanser. All right, so I'm going to use the D&D 500 base gel. Some of the products that I've used before require a base gel or it will start to peel off. So I just do it just in case. It's not going to hurt. and you just do a thin coat. This is not like the structured gel. This is just a base coat, just like you would with like regular nail polish. However, this is a gel base coat, so it does require UV light to cure. Pretty much every step that I do requires a UV light, so that's pretty much a requirement if you want to do it the way that I do. And plus, it is just so much faster. Even if you were just doing polish only, doing gel polish is so much faster. You don't have to worry about it smudging. I remember going to the nail salon as a teenager and getting acrylics, and then, you know, I just had regular nail polish and having to sit under the dryer light thingy. I don't even know. I don't know if it even did anything. And just sit there forever. Then you think that they're dry, and then you go home and you have a big ding or smudge in it, and then you can't, there's nothing you can do about it. So, all right, so there's my first hand of base coat. So put it under the light for a minute, literally 60 seconds. All right, so my base gel coat is cured. Now I'm gonna do the builder gel. This is the one that I've been using for a while. I'm on to my second bottle. It's really cheap, honestly, and no problems with it. I actually really like it. My nail tech is the one who suggested it, and it works really well. So this step is what's going to allow you to get your nails thicker and harder. Now you want to do thin coats. Don't put too much near your cuticle, because then it's gonna, and honestly I have a problem with this, because once it grows out, I always have like a sharp edge around my cuticle. No matter how hard I try. I mean, I'm not a professional, so I don't, you know, I just do the best I can. But don't go too thick around your cuticle, because this kind of like builds. It's a builder gel, so it kind of builds up like where you put it. You can kind of like hold your hand in different positions to like kind of get it to go where you want. It's not like it's super liquidy, but it will kind of puddle wherever gravity is pulling it. So you want to do a thin coat. Again, not too heavy near your cuticle. And depending on how hard you need your nails to be, or, you know, if you're just starting like fresh and don't have anything on your nails yet, you're gonna need quite a few layers to get to the right thickness to like be like the toughness of acrylic, which is what I like, because I'm really tough on my hands. You know, I use them as a tool, even though you're not supposed to. You know, all the dishes that I do with hot water, gardening, you know, all that, they just, my hands get beat up. So I like them thick. So if you're just starting, it could be, you know, 5+ layers. But, you know, eventually you don't need to do as many, because you're starting with something already. Like my nails are still hard from the last time. I just took the polish off, and at this point we're just kind of getting you know, a more even layer. This kind of helps fill in any like weird bumps, lines, anywhere that kind of got worn away. It kind of puddles into the areas that need it, so it's like one level surface. So you do a thin coat. Make sure to get the edges of at some point, you know, one of your layers, get the edges of your nails, and then in between each layer you need to use the light. So you're going to cure each layer. Again, don't go too close to your cuticles. I usually do like one coat where I'm going up to my cuticles, and you can use your, you know, other nails to like kind of make sure that it's not too close to the cuticle, because it does get like kind of bumpy and sharp. It doesn't look as smooth if it's too close, but I really struggle with that, so I'm not the best person to solve that issue. But you go around, and so I do like one coat where I'm going up to my cuticles, and then I do you know, the following where maybe I go from the middle to the tip, and then maybe the final layer is more just focusing on the tip of the nail. It just depends on where your nail needs more coverage, more leveling. You don't want any part of your nail to be super thick. You want it to kind of have the like the profile. Like if you look at the side of your nail, you want it to be a natural shape. You don't want it to be like a big bubble at the end. Oh, excuse me. The dog just pulled on the cord. So, and that's why the thin layers is too, so it's less likely. Hello. Okay. Oh, okay. Are we feeling needy? Yes, we're feeling needy today. Oh my God. It's so nasty out, Miss Stephanie. Why is it raining? Yummy. Yum, yum. All right. Time for another layer. You're going to mess me up. Ow, ow! All right. A lot of times I don't get close enough on some of the sides, and then I have like weird dips. So I have to kind of look at where my nails are not the same height. I don't know. Just, again, I am not a professional. Like, this is just, it is good enough. Gets the job done, and it is cheaper and just works better for my schedule. So I'll do a few coats of this builder gel, and then I will usually take I'll do some filing just to make sure that we don't have anything weird going on before it gets to the polishing step. And then also you need to finalize the shape that you want. Any filing needs to be done before you add color. Doing your nails yourself is not going to be faster, you know, it does take quite a bit of time because you can, you know, can only do one hand at a time. Sometimes when you're at a salon, you know, while this hand is in the light, your nail tech could be working on the next hand. You obviously can't do that at home, so it takes a little bit longer. I'm also not a professional, so that takes longer to fix mistakes, or, you know, I'm just not as well practiced. But so it does take longer, but then you also have the option of, you know, taking a break. Like at this point, if I needed to go to the bathroom, or if I wanted to have a snack, or a dog needed some help or something, I can just wipe this, because it's sticky, but I just cured it. So I could just wipe this with some alcohol and I could be done and come back to it. You know, it's not gonna hurt anything. Which obviously you can't do that if you're at a salon. Like, so I can have more flexibility with what I do during the day to get them done. They don't have to be done all at once. Let's clean them up. And that was 2 coats of the builder gel. Let's see if I need to have another layer. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do some filing and then do another final coat of the gel, the builder gel. So I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any spots that I missed. Like, it kind of seems like there's a spot there. It doesn't feel even, it's on the edge. And it's always like the side that's facing away from me that I can't see as well. That's what I tend to miss spots on. Ow, get down, your nails are too sharp. Let's do some filing. So I'm gonna move this towel for right now and get my fine sandpaper on. I'm gonna go around the edges a bit because that's always my struggle. So let's even those out a bit and then see what we need. The builder gel it's thicker. It's not just like the same as, you know, a base coat or a top coat. Like it's thicker. It has a purpose. It's to build up in layers. So, you know, sometimes it doesn't lay quite the way you want it to. So then you can just file it a bit. You can add more, you know, just adding more. You just have to be cautious because then you could start to have it where your nails are looking too thick and weird, you know. So you have to find a balance of where it's thick enough to be strong, but not too thick where it looks like weird bubbles on your fingertips. I think I got the weird areas that I was seeing. So I'm gonna put my polishing rag back down. I'm gonna get some, clean it up with alcohol again. All right, and now I'm gonna try and do super thin layers to try to fill in anything that needs it after that small filing. The goal is just to get the builder gel onto both hands before lunchtime. Let's see, it's 10:56. So I have an hour because not only is it lunchtime, but then I also have 2 dogs being dropped off. So I need to get to a stopping point, and we'll do the painting later. I like the color. Now, if you don't want color, like, you could just leave it like this if you want just your natural nail look. If you're just looking for like a stronger nail and you don't want color, then this would be enough. All right, so we got the color off. We worked on cuticles. We put the base coat and the builder gel, and we're gonna take a break. It's been about 2 hours. It's almost lunchtime. These doggies need to go outside. I have 2 dogs coming here soon. Got laundry to put into the dryer. So this is a good stopping point. If you were to do this, when you get done with your builder gel and you use alcohol, get the stickiness off after the light, it's a good stopping point. Technically, you could just leave it here if you just wanted a natural look. I will do polish later after lunch. I also have to do a home visit. So I got dogs coming. They're sisters. I have sisters coming. I have, how'd that feel? So I have 2 dogs coming. I have to eat lunch, and I have a home visit to do with some of my regulars. It's a crappy day to do it, so we have to make sure to wear our junky, outside clothes. Yes, because they like to jump on me like you, and then they get me covered in mud. Yes. So we need to have our boots and our coat and our yucky pants. So I am back from the dogs being dropped off, having lunch, doing my home visit. So I'm just going to double check to make sure that everything's smooth. I like the shape of the nails, and then I'll paint. I'm going to do, it's one of my favorites, Antique Purple D&D 489. At first, my afternoon coffee. I think they're pretty smooth. Another thing that I do is I check to make sure that, like, when I bend them, they feel good and that none of them are like flimsy. But I can always add builder later, even on top of the polish, if I need a little extra strength. So it's not the end of the world. Excuse me. Let's do some alcohol. Now. I don't need another base coat before the polish, before the color, because this builder gel, it acts like a base coat. Like I have all of this on my nails already. So we're gonna go straight into the color. These D&D sets, they come with regular nail polish and then gel. So I like, if I want my toes to match my hands, I bring this to the nail salon, and it'll be at least a close match to what I have on my hands. Sometimes they aren't perfect matches for some reason, even though they claim they are. All right, I'm gonna shake it. Again, we have to do thin coats. Use the light in between each coat. For most colors, you just need 2 coats. Sometimes you'll need a third. Now, again, you have to be careful with the cuticle area. Like, you got to get up to the cuticle, but not too far, because then it just puddles there, and then it looks like a mess. So get the edges just like you did with the builder gel. It's a lot of breathing that I'm hearing, guys. Need the light and coffee. All right, so this color ended up actually needing 3 coats. I think it looks better with 3 coats. So, and those 3 coats have been cured. So now we're gonna do a top coat, the D&D 400 top gel. Again, thin coat. Everything needs to be thin. And if you make a mistake, or bump into something, no. So if you make a mistake, you can just wipe it off. As long as you haven't cured this, the layer you're doing, everything else underneath will stay. So it's not like you have to start from the very beginning, like when you're dealing with regular polish. So I think there's felt something in there. See, I just wipe it off, and all the other stuff is still there from before. Yeah, see, there's something in that coat. All right, so we are done and cleaned up. Not too bad. Well, hopefully that was helpful. I'm sure it wasn't the greatest explanation, but if you have any questions, let me know. And if you would like to see more of what I do, more dog boarding, more DIY stuff, well, like, subscribe, follow along. All right, bye for now.